Good day, everyone. In this video, let us discuss the magnetic force, the torque, and energy on a current loop conductor and DC motor. Now, remember in our previous topic that if we have a conductor that has a current flows on it, it experiences a force, magnetic force, if we have the external magnetic field in the surroundings. So all conductor that has a current will experience a force in the presence of the magnetic field. In the previous lessons, we studied straight current conductor, and we found out that the magnetic force is equal to the current times the cross product of the length vector cross magnetic field. So a magnetic force can be calculated if we have the magnetic field and the length vector. Length vector is a vector in a conductor whose magnitude is the length of that conductor multiplied by the direction of the current or the current density. Now the question is, what will happen if that straight line we will form a loop? It can be in a circle, loop, rectangle, or any loop, as long as it starts from that point and we end up here with the same point. So the question is, how much force? Then, uh, what else? Will it provide torque? If so, then what's the energy of the current loop? Now, this is very important idea. Why? Because if we learn this topic, then we can understand how DC motor works, which is the end part of this video. So first, we will derive or identify the force on a current loop, and after that, we will calculate the torque, if any, and also the energy of the current loop. Now, this statement says that the net force, when we say net force, the total force on the current loop in a uniform magnetic field in the presence of external field, magnetic field, is always equal to zero. Although it has a force, because by theory says that if there is a conductor, it experience a force in the presence of magnetic field. So for every segment of the loop, it has a force, but the net force is equal to zero. Okay? So even if the net force on the current loop is zero, however, there is a net force, a net torque on that system, meaning it provides a torque, which means the torque is not generally equal to zero. So therefore, if we let a straight conductor, allowing it to form a loop, then it provides torque, means it rotates with a certain axis or from a certain axis. Okay? So therefore, the question is, why is it that the net force is equal to zero? Now, okay. Now, suppose we have a magnetic field directed upward on this plane, and it has a uniform magnetic field. Then we place a loop conductor. So the figure shows only a line, but it is a current loop in a form of rectangle. This is the side view, and the center is this is the center of that uh, loop. So in that, which means that there is a force on the segment which is perpendicular or towards the plane. Okay, because we have the straight conductor directed towards the plane, meaning into the screen. And it experiences a force which is directed towards right. Because if you use your right hand rule, the L is inward, the magnetic field is the magnetic field is uh, directed upward. So this is the length. Then the magnetic field, the length is towards, then the magnetic field is upward, then the force must be directed towards right side. So this is it. This is the force on the segment of the current loop, which is perpendicular to. Okay. Similarly, in the opposite uh, segment, which is again uh, towards the segment of the screen, it has a force which is now in opposite. But take note that this is the current. No? The current flows on this, then into, okay, then opposite to this, we have the current drop down. Then after that, it travels away or towards the screen or out of the screen. Then it follows that if you use the right hand rule, the force on that segment is directed towards left. Okay. Now, what about in the segment? This segment also experience a force which is towards, okay, that is out of the plane. So this point signifies out of the plane. Then in the opposite side, it is inward to the plane. So there are, because this is a square loop. So it has four segments. The first segment is into, which has a force of this F, and we have the opposite to this side, another segment, and the current is downward. Then the segment opposite to this segment, the current is now coming out of the plane, so that the force is directed towards left. Okay, this is a rectangular loop. I mean, okay, so this is outward. Then it follows that when you look at this one, uh, forces at this point will be neutralized. Okay, because a force is outward, then the opposite is inward, and this one is towards left, and this is towards right. So therefore, if you sum up this force, remember that the length of this wire is the same as the length of the wire, is opposite. Which means whatever magnitude this is the same magnitude of that. And they are opposite to each other. So this force and this force will be cancelled. Another thing is force here is outward. Then we have also force outward, inward, the opposite. So it cancels. So therefore, but before that, although this statement tells us that the net force should be zero, and I think it was already proven because of this. However, there is a torque. The question is how much torque? Okay, so remember that this point, like we have the force outward, the opposite is inward. So therefore, the two forces don't have torque, but these forces and this one, towards right and towards left, will create a torque with respect to this axis, which means that this system, this kind of loop, this is a rectangular loop, will rotate with respect to this point. So since it rotates with respect to this point, then there must be a torque, because torque is the force multiplied by the moment arm. So this is the force and this is the moment arm. The moment arm is B sine theta over 2. Why? Because the length of this is B and inward is A. Okay, so the cross-sectional area is A times B. Then uh, this one is actually B sine theta. If you have this right triangle, this side here, okay, is B sine theta. Now, since it's one half, so B sine theta divided by 2. So this is now the torque arm of this force, and it will rotate in a clockwise direction, while this force will rotate with respect to this point, this line, in in a counterclockwise, in a clockwise direction. Okay, so they have the same, which means that it will rotate. Okay, it will rotate because this is a clockwise torque and we have this a clockwise torque. So this system will rotate about this axis. And the question is how much torque. Okay, but before that, by the way, this is a side view and this is the front view. So as I've said, this point here, this point is this one. Okay, this one. Then this point is the opposite. And this, okay, so this one is in the opposite side. This is A, and this is A also, and this is at the top. So, okay, no, no, no. So this force, this is outward. So when you look at here, we have this X, Y, because this force is, okay, looking at this side, then we have this force, X, and this one is dot because away from the viewpoint, then this is the magnetic field. Okay, and this one, this is the end point of the axis. So this is now the rotating axis. Okay, so this is our B, which is this one. This is the B, and we have this A. So A is towards, B is this incline, which is, and this is the front view. Okay, so the sum, if you sum up all forces in this part, take note that we have this to the right and we have to the left. So to the right is F, to the left is F. Remember that they have the same length. So mean, therefore, whatever magnitude here is the same magnitude here. So therefore, F plus negative F plus A prime. A prime means this one. The force, this one is A prime and this is A prime. One is outward. This is outward, while this one is inward. So if you sum up the two, the sum should be equal to 0. So confirm that the force is equal to 0. Okay, so if you sum up, if you substitute using the formula, I is the current that flows. Yeah, A is this one. Then we have the magnetic field, and the angle between the length and the magnetic field is 90 minus P. So remember that minus P, okay, uh, the angle is 90, okay. By the way, this is 90, so therefore, this is the same as sine of 90 is 1. So therefore, we have only B, B magnetic field. Current, the length of the B is length of the conductor, low conductor, this side. Then we have the sine of theta because the angle is 90. Okay, so therefore, again, this is 0. So therefore, this is confirmed that the net force and the current flow is always equal to 0, regardless of what shape is this. So it is true to circle, then triangle. So all loop conductor, the net force is equal to 0. Each segment provides force. So therefore, there must be some points that the system will might be rotating. So that's why we have the torque. Net torque is not equal to 0. The net force is 0, but the torque is not equal to 0. Okay, so how much torque? Remember that torque is force times labor arm. So it is the perpendicular distance from the pivot point to the force is the torque. Okay, so in this case, this is the force and this is the perpendicular distance. So the torque is F times this torque arm or the lever arm. And this one also, force is negative, and this one is the uh, moment arm or the lever arm, which is B sine P over 2. Okay? So the angle is, or the torque now is in a clockwise direction. Okay? So the first force times torque arm, the second force times torque. Because all forces will provide torque at that point. But these two forces, A prime, don't have the torque because the direction is at the pivot point. So there's no torque arm, but there's a force, but there's a torque. So if you simplify this, reduce this, it will reduce to FB sine P. Okay, that's it. But remember, what is F? Force is what? Force is the force that we are talking is about this one. Okay, so therefore the length now is the length is okay. So A B. So I A times B. So this is not the force. This is the force of this segment. So we have this B sign because by the way this is our B. So if this is B, so meaning this is a B, so meaning this is our A. And this is the force that we are talking about. This one. Okay? And this is the pivot point. So therefore this must be A. Okay. Now if you rearrange this one in such that we have I AB, B, sine P. This is now the magnitude of torque. Okay, so if you wish to calculate how much torque that this system provides, then all you need to do is to identify what is the current and substitute it here. What is the dimension of the loop? The loop has an area of A times B. So this is A times B. So therefore, this is an area. And it's the magnetic field, and we have the sine P. The theta is the angle between the L and magnetic field. So in this case, L is 90. Okay. Theta is 90 or P. Okay. So A times B is area. So therefore, the torque now is IAB, current times area times magnetic field times the sine of the angle between the length vector and the magnetic field. Okay. But the product of I times A is a magnetic dipole moment. Okay. So magnetic dipole moment assigned as mu. This is a vector. Why? Because the area has a normal vector. So this is a vector magnitude A. Is current times the loop. So if you multiply the current times area, okay, area of the loop is the magnetic dipole moment. Okay. So therefore, now since this is a vector mu, then it has a direction. The direction of this is in this side. Okay, why? Uh, because look at this one. If we have the loop, if we have this loop, for example, and the current is in this direction, okay, this direction, then you can curl your fingers, this one, align to this curve, then let your thumb stretch your thumb, then the direction of your thumb will be the dipole moment. Okay, so this is the dipole moment. So if the current is reverse, meaning in this direction, then curl it according to direction, then the dipole moment is in this direction. Okay, I hope it's clear. So, okay, again, if the current is in the direction, then curl it, then the dipole moment is at this direction. When the current is reversed, then curl it, then stretch thumb, then this is the magnetic dipole moment. So it is actually a vector, so it has we can use the right hand rule for the direction. So in this case, since ang current is inclined upward, so it tends to rotate about the loop within this loop, then the dipole moment is directed in this. Now, if the current reverse, then dipole moment is directed downward. Okay? So, we have that. Okay? Then, uh, in this case, look at this one. The dipole moment here is, take note, this is x, which means that the dipole is towards the plane. Why? Because the current, look at this current will tend to move this one. So if you curl your fingers according to the direction of the current, then stretch your thumb. The thumb points towards this screen. So that's why this is inward. If the current reverses, then this dipole moment is directed outward. Okay? Now, this is the magnetic dipole moment is a very important physical quantity. Why? Because this is the factor that the DC motor works. So why is it that uh, DC motor rotates by its rotation? The answer is because of the torque. Okay, and the torque, it has the dipole moment. Look at this one. Remember that I times A is dipole moment. So meaning, because of the dipole moment, the the current slope will rotate. So that's it. So very important is this. Now take note, this is a vector quantity. So you have be sure to know the direction of the current slope, dipole moment. Okay. So therefore, from this equation, from this torque I A B sine P, it becomes mu, because mu is I times A times B times sine theta, which means that the torque can be calculated. Okay, if you have the magnet, this is the magnitude of torque. The magnitude of torque can be calculated by substituting the magnitude of mu, which is the product of I times A, multiplied by the magnitude of the magnetic field. And take note, sine P. And this P, remember, is the angle from, this is now the angle from the mu, which is the dipole moment, towards the magnetic field. Okay? So, this is now our torque. Okay. Now, this is actually the same with electricity, the electric dipole. Remember that in a dipole system, we have torque, and the torque is uh, what? The cross product of the electric dipole cross magnetic field. So in this case, electric field. This one, this is the magnetic dipole moment, and we have this magnetic field. And take note, sine means cross product. Okay, so therefore, to calculate the torque, it is just equal to the mu cross B. Mu, which is the dipole moment cross product with the magnetic field. Okay, so uh, if you want to calculate the amount of torque in a current loop in the presence of the external magnetic field, then this is it. This is the formula. So the factors why the current rotates, because of the dipole moment and the presence of magnetic field. Okay, and of course the dipole moment will occur if we have the current, okay, current in the loop and the area. Take note, the area is the area of the loop. In this case, this is a rectangle, so it should be, the area should be A times B. So the area times I is the dipole moment. The greater the I, meaning if you increase the amount of current, the torque increases. Okay. Also the area. So if you increase the area, in this case, theoretically, the torque increases. And also with the magnetic field. If you increase the magnitude of the external field, then torque also increases. Okay, so that's it. We already calculated the torque. The net force is zero, but the torque is non-zero. Non-zero as long as there is current in the conductor and we have the magnetic field that surrounds on the current loop. So therefore, if we have the current on the conductor, but we don't have magnetic field, external magnetic field, then there's no rotation occurs. Okay? Or if you have the magnetic field in the surrounding and you have the current loop, but if you have the conductor in the form of loop, but you don't have the current, then there's no torque. Okay? Now, if you have current and you have the current loop, or you have the loop conductor, then there is always magnetic dipole moment, which means even if we don't have the external field, we still have the dipole moment. Why? Because the dipole moment depends only on the current and the area of the loop conductor. Okay, so we are done with the torque. Now, what about energy? Now, energy of the system, uh, potential energy, let us assign that as U for consistency in the mechanics that we assign U. But this is magnetic potential energy. Okay, so this is now the potential energy of the magnetic dipole. Okay, this is a magnetic dipole moment. Okay, so therefore, in this is in analogy with the electric dipole, it is the negative dot product of the mu dot B. In electric dipole, negative electric dipole moment, dot product with magnetic field. Okay, so that's it. So we have no electric field, sorry, for the electric dipole. But for the magnetic dipole moment, the potential energy is negative mu dot B. Okay, that's it. So this illustration tells us that if we have this force and this force will tend to move towards right, this to tend to move towards left, then the system will probably rotate in that direction. Okay, so in is this is the position, then again this force will pull in this direction, the other force in the opposite direction, then it provide rotation. So as long as this force have uh, torque arm with each other, then the system will rotate. It stops only if this one will align this axis and this one is also aligned with that. As long as we have this displacement or distance from the pivot, then the system will rotate towards that. So look at this one. We can analyze this by using this one. This is our dipole moment and this is our magnetic field. So uh, the this formula says, the torque says mu cross B, which means that the mu will interact with the magnetic field. So when we say interact, it forms a cross product. Okay, so the cross B, which means the system, this mu will rotate towards the magnetic field. So the mu will align to the magnetic field. So if this will align, and remember that mu is always perpendicular to this area. So therefore, if this is vertical, then this one should be in horizontal. So therefore, the uh, stable position of the system will be in horizontal. Why? Because this will tend to align the magnetic field. Okay. Now, if you place in this orientation your conductor, and we have the current that flows on it, so using your right hand rule again, the dipole moment is towards left, which means that we have a 90 degrees from mu towards B. So take note that mu always interact with magnetic field. So look at the formula. Mu will take cross product to B. So mu cross B, meaning it interacts. Cross means rotation. So therefore, this will rotate. So this will tend to move in horizontal alignment. Why? Another thing is maybe force that pull on that, but you can ignore this force. Consider only the uh, mu, and that's it. That's it. Because the mu and b will dictate the rotation of the uh, system, which is the current loop. Okay, so that's it. To align that, then that's it. That's the normal position. If you have that, of course, it will return and tend to align in this position. That's it. Just it's just like a spring. If you pull a spring, then release, it will go back to its original place. So this is the stable position of the system. Now, anytime that this mu will not align to B, then we call that the system is unstable. So it tends to move in the stable position. Okay. So therefore, okay. Now this is take note. This is only single turn. Okay. Now a current loop can be of multiple turns. So if you allow this to rotate, okay, for this is only for single turn, but for many turns, then for example this one, if you allow the magnetic wire forming a loop within this metal rod, then you are actually creating a solenoid. Okay. Now the torque of this in the presence of this magnetic field. This is a magnetic field. Okay, and we have this multiple turns. This is not just a single turn. This is a multiple turn, and the current starts from here. Then it rotates. So the direction of current is here. So if you use the right hand rule, okay, if you use the right hand rule, this one, because the current is, when you look at the drawing, look at this one, the drawing. So place your fingers, no, aligned to the current, and the solenoid is the term that we use for magnetic wire that forms mini loops, multiple loops in that iron core. So we have this one, then stretch your thumb. So the thumb direction will be your dipole. So this is the dipole moment. So the dipole moment has an angle of P from this one, P from this magnetic field. This blue color, and this is the mu. So it has an angle of P. So therefore, these are very important factors in order to calculate the torque. So that's why this system will rotate in this direction, clockwise direction. If the current reverses, okay, if the current reverses its direction, then it will rotate in opposite direction, in a counterclockwise. So calculating the mu, it is now n, big letter N means the number of turns, no? So if you have 50 turns, then just multiply that. And take note, if you let the current flow, okay, uh, multiple loops, okay, the number of loops will be the number of current accumulates on this. So therefore, if you multiply this by n, you are multiplying the number of currents. So if we have the current of 2 amps, for example, and you have 10 number of turns, so the the total current now becomes what? Becomes 20, 20 amps. Okay? So take note that the source is the same, but we alter the number of turns. Okay? We increase the number of turns. So increasing the number of turns means increasing the I. So if you can increase the I, you also increase the mu. So you are actually increasing mu. And take note, mu will cross towards B. So therefore, there must be a greater torque if you have more turns. So therefore, the formula of torque now changes to what? The difference is just multiply the number of turns in N. So meaning this NIA here, this NIA is our dipole moment in IA. So this is still mu cross B. So since this is mu magnitude times B and we have sin P, then this is now the magnitude of torque. Okay, so that's it. Very clear. Okay, so in summary, for a current loop, the net force is zero. However, we have the torque. So that's the advantage of having current loop. The net force is zero, but there is a torque. And the torque can be calculated using the mu. Take note, the mu is, you can use your right hand rule, just curl your fingers aligned to the direction of current, the loop, then stretch your thumb, then the direction of your thumb will be direction of your mu. Okay? The magnetic field external is given the problem, so nothing to worry. And always remember that the torque will depend on the direction of mu and magnetic field. The angle between them means we have the torque. Now, if this mu directed the same direction of magnetic field, then torque is zero. Okay? So the maximum torque occurs when what? The angle between mu and b is 90 degrees. That's the uh, maximum angle. Or it can be 270. Okay? So torque is maximum. When the angle between them is zero, then torque is zero. Okay? So the formulas are for in order to calculate magnetic dipole moment, remember that magnetic dipole moment is the what? Is the electromagnet. No? It is the electromagnetic dipole moment of the the loop conductor. So to calculate, we have the number of turns I times A. So convert to is I, then we have this. So the unit of mu should what? Should be amp meter because this is amp. So amp meter square. Okay, ampere then meter square. Because area is square of meter is I. Okay, then the torque is mu cross B. For the calculated torque here, take the cross product. So express this in vectors, then cross, or you may use the magnitude. Okay, mu times b times sine of the angle in between them. Okay, then the energy is the negative dot product of mu and b. So mu dot b. By the way, the torque should be mu cross b. You cannot reverse this b mu cross mu. No, it is not because the formula says it should be mu cross b. The dot product, nothing to worry because that product is if you reverse it, the result is the same because this is scalar quantity. But we have this negative. The negative means the energy in the system is decreasing in magnitude until diminished to zero. So it starts with with value, then it decreases its energy until zero. So that's why this is the negative signifies decreasing energy. Just like gravity. So the gravity, the potential energy is maximum at the top, but it decreases as that particle travels towards the reference. Okay, that's it. So again, suppose this is your loop, then uh, orient your in right hand rule, just curl it, then stretch your thumb. Then this is your direction sa mu. Now remember, the arrow of your mu means north, and the bottom is south. Okay, so meaning we have because of mu, we have the magnetic field. So the magnetic field due to the current flow will depends on the dipole moment. So the greater the dipole moment, the greater the magnetic field. So, but for now, we are interested with mu, and it is I times A. So if we have number of turns, then just multiply this in. So in IA is the mu. Okay? So as I've said, we call this as electromagnet. So suppose we have this current flow, single turn. This is single turn. Then if we connect this with the supply, positive, negative, so take note that the conventional flow is from positive, so current will flow, okay, this direction. So by the way, we have the magnetic field at that point, then the current, again, since we have this current, then we have the magnetic field due to electromagnet or due to magnetic dipole moment. Then we have that, and of course, the current will circulate in this direction because this is positive. So why is it that we have this mu? Because of this current and this area. Okay. So the formula again is IA. So this is for single turn. For many turns, of course, if you increase the number of turns, then your mu now becomes in IA. Remember, vector. So the vector here is area because this is perpendicular to the area is the normal vector. So we call this as the multiple turns. And the magnetic field, in theory, uh, of the electromagnet is B mu, which is the uh, this is a permeability of the empty space mu, and we have this in I. So this is now number of turns times I, and this is the magnetic field. But take note that in number of turns and I is actually a factor of mu. So it can be calculated using this one, or you can use this mu. So the magnetic field present, why? Because of the dipole moment. By the way, you have seen here the iron core, this is metal. So if you want to stay the magnetic field longer for some purposes, then it's good that we have this iron core. So this will serve as the storage, no, temporary storage of the uh, magnetic element. So from here, take note that it produces dipole moment, which provides magnetic field from electromagnet. Then that effect of magnetism will stay on the iron core temporarily, at it strengthened. Okay, so the purpose of iron core here is not just to align the solenoid. The main purpose of that is to store the magnetic effect in what with time. Because if you don't have this one, then the current cut at that point, then without the iron core, then this magnetic field is automatically zero. Okay, why? Because there's no current, and there's no mu. But if you have this one, and the current will cut off on that instant, then there's something there's because the iron core induces magnetic effect, so it stays for a short period of time, not longer time. Then that's why uh, the purpose of this is to enhance or stay to store the magnetic effect. Okay, so which means to say that as long as there's current, there's always mu. So if there's mu, there's always magnetic field due to the electromagnet. So remember that we have the permanent magnet, so it produces magnetic field also. But this magnetic field is due to the electromagnet. Okay, so this is now the DC motor. So the DC motor works. Why? Because of these parts. We have this part. No? We have armature. The armature is the rotating system, so it rotates with some direction. And in the DC motor, we have the presence of the brush. The brush is the contact point of the source of battery. For example, this one. This positive negative is the power supply, and the point here that connects the armature in the rotating system are the brushes. So we have two brushes here, from positive, and we have the brush on the negative side. Then the current will flow, di ba? Will flow in that. So current will flow from the source. Then it uh, will be connected to the brush, which means that the brush here is not rotating. The rotating is this one, the armature. The armature provides, we have the commutator. The commutator, this will form a kind of semicircle. So there are two, uh, notice here, this one. We have that circle, but we have separated two semicircle. So we have the gap, and these are conductors. So commutators are conductor. And this commutator will contact to the brush. So if that commutator uh, connected to the positive, so the current will flow net. Okay. Now, if the commutator connected in the negative, then the current will move out from the armature. So that's it. So uh, The purpose of commutator, actually, the brush and commutator combination is the factor why motor works. No, so without the commutator and the brush strategy, the rotation of the armature is just in 180 degrees. Okay, remember in our lecture in previous slide that the reason why the system rotate because of the dipole moment and the magnetic field. So as long as we have the angle between the dipole moment and the magnetic field. So this is magnetic field, it's dipole moment. As long as we have the angle, then it will rotate at that point. So meaning it stops there. Now, why is it that motor continuously working? And we aware in previous our slide is the system will rotate from mu towards B. Why is it that continuous rotating? The answer is because of the commutator. The commutator and brass reverses the direction of current in the armature. So the moment, remember that when the current in the current flow or armature in this system uh, reverses the current, then it signifies also reverses direction of mu. So reversing mu is reversing also the direction of the system, the current loop. The current loop in our previous is the armature. So the armature have the number of windings, no, number of turns of the magnetic wire. Okay, and another part of the uh, DC motor are the permanent magnet. So permanent magnet or stator. So this one we have the north and south. So it should be north and south. Why? Because the magnetic field will be directed from north towards the south. If you have north facing north the same, then it repels. So therefore, motor will not work. Okay? So it should have the magnetic field should be in the direction that crosses to this system. And these are external. So the purpose of permanent magnet is to provide external field. And take note that the rotating provides electromagnetic effect because of the dipole moment. Okay? So there are two important factors in the DC motor. It should be the permanent magnet that provides magnetic field and the electromagnet. That's why we have the rotation. And why it is continuously rotating without reversing because of the commutator and brush. Okay. In the next slide, let us discuss how commutator and brush provides the changing of current that provides a continuous rotation of the armature. Okay, see, look at this one. How DC motor works. Okay, consider only a single turn of conductor. So let this be the conductor. This one, single turn, or it can be a multiple turn. Then this one, the semicircle, this is the commutator. So the commutator, take note, will rotate with the current flow. So we have this armature. So this is now considered as armature, and this is the axis of rotation. So it will rotate in that direction. So the direction is in that direction because remember force, okay, and the torque arm will provide rotation. Okay, then so therefore I made this different color yellow and we have this, I think this is what, gold. Okay, color. So this is just a color coding, signifies that this semicircle in the left side, which has a color of gold, connected to the positive in that area. So this one is the brush, two brushes, brush from the positive and here a brush from negative. So I use again a color code to guide us the direction. So take note, this is a power supply. So if we have this power supply, then the current will flow net towards the brass because brass is conductor. Then it travels in this. Take note, this is semicircle. So there's no contact sa gold in this part with this yellow. So therefore, current will flows here. Then that's it. Then continue to flow here. Okay. Then continue to flow is the current, same current. Then it will move out this one, then go back to the source. Then cycle continues. So by providing current in a conductor, take note, we have the current and we have that area. So we have the current and we have the area of the loop. Then therefore we have the dipole moment. So the dipole moment is what? Directed downward. Why? Because look at the direction of current. So if you have this one, okay, the current is here. So you look at this one, in that direction. So if you let your fingers curl in direction of current, then stretch your thumb. The dipole moment is downward. So this is now directed downward because this one is in horizontal plane. So the magnetic field or the dipole moment should be perpendicular on that, and that is downward. Okay, why downward? Because the current in that is in this direction. So we have this one. So if you allow that your curl to turn in the direction of your eye, then therefore stretch your thumb. So mu will be downward. Okay, so it provides dipole moment. The current, okay, the power supply supplies current to the loop. Then it provides mu, which is the dipole moment. Why? Because we have the eye and we have this area. Okay. So the question now is, will this system rotates? The answer is yes, provided we have the permanent magnet. Without the permanent magnet, then we cannot. So meaning we need this one. Take note in a permanent magnet, we have always the north and south. So in this case, I have north and I have south. Now we have another magnet here, south, north. So therefore, this north will interact to south. So if you reverse this north and north, then the problem is the magnetic field is diverging. Okay. In this case, the magnetic field is directed towards this one. So look at the arrow. Arrow is always out from north, okay, towards south. In this case, from north, rotate outside, then towards south. Then inside here, the direction of magnetic field is from south to north. But in external, north towards south. So this is north towards south. Okay, we have the mu and we have the magnetic field. So what do you think? Where's the direction? Okay, so the direction is, take note that mu will interact to B. So this mu will tend to move towards the direction of B. So if you do it, then it should be in that direction. So that's why this direction is correct. So it will rotate about this axis. Okay, that's it. No. So look at this one. Uh, remember that we have the semicircle. Semicircle. Now, previously, this one connected to the gold. Pero if you have this one, still you are in the gold. So this, therefore, the current here is same. From the gold, moving this one, then upward, just like this one. So I, so if you let this travels, then we have that. So still we have this one. Now, take note, this is, I think this is 20 degrees or 30 degrees from zero. Then we have that. Now, take note that if this will continue to rotate, look at this one. Look at this one. This one. Uh, this com- this brass was connected to the gold side, the semicircle, and also connected to yellow. which means that there's no current in the loop. So if there's no current, what will happen? There's no dipole moment. So where is the current now going? So the current now is going to what? Going to this one, then go back to the source. So put the rest because then that's it. So there's no current in the segment. So what happened? So what happened is the mu becomes zero. Remember that this mu will align this one. But at that orientation, mu is zero. Now what happened next? Now remember that we have this momentum already at that part. So even if we don't have current and we don't have mu, by conservation of energy, it will rotate. So the moment it will rotate, look at this one, a little bit from this one. Remember that this positive touches to the gold. Now, if this will continue further, then look at this one. The brass positive now was connected to yellow. What does it mean? Now, it signifies that in the loop, there is current. So the current now reverses. Did you see? Diba? Okay? The current reverses its direction. Okay? Why? Because this brass was transferred to the next semicircle. Previously, it was connected in this gold semicircle, but this time the positive was connected to the yellow conductor, one half of it. Okay, so therefore, the purpose of this, why we have the semicircle, is to reverse. So what's the advantage of reversing this one? So if you reverse this, take note that the direction of the direction because of this current, the direction of magnetic dipole moment will change. So meaning in this side, so if you attempt to use your right hand rule, then that's it. So the dipole moment is this direction. So it reverses the direction of the dipole moment. So with that, this mu, remember, well, mu is here and it tends to move towards B. So it will move in this direction continuously. At that point, then look at this one. We have now the gold in the opposite side, and the yellow is here. But look at the current. The current is, in this yellow, is directed in opposite in our previous one. So meaning, this positive, okay, the current in the conductor will reverses every 180 degrees. So remember, semicircle means the angle is 180. So the current will reverse for every 180 degrees. So reversing current direction means a reversing direction of mu. And take note, mu will interact to magnetic field. So that's why motor works. Okay? So if you ask why is it motor works, there are many answers to that. And you have to provide it all. First is, on no particular order, the current loop, which is the armature, has the current. Okay, so therefore, you should have the power supply, and we have also the magnetic field that supplies, or the permanent magnet that supplies magnetic field. Then the current loop provides mu dipole moment. Okay, then this one, this commutator C, semicircle, and we have this brush. The brush are nag-rest here, stay, no? But this commutator rotates with the armature or with the loop conductor. Okay, so that's it. So the technique is reversing the direction of mu. That's why motor will continuously rotating. Okay, so that's it. Huh? Then cycle continues. So by the way, in this figure we use the permanent magnet, but there are motors that don't have the permanent magnet. Instead, they provide another rule, no, another winding. Remember that if we have the windings, we have the magnet. It will provide magnetic field. So meaning, we can replace the permanent magnet with another electromagnet. So we call that as shunt. Okay, shunt field. So when you look at this one, this is a shunt motor. The shunt motor because we have this armature rotating system. Okay, this one, and we have this windings that provides field. So this shunt will provide magnetic field. This. So this will be connected in parallel from the supply. So okay, so this will provide magnetic field, and this the current that flows on the conductor, the loop, will provide dipole moment. So therefore, this will continue. So therefore, we have these circuits. So if you are uh, solving problems in DC motor, so we have the armature, we have this field. So the field, take note, is we have this resistance of the wire. So therefore, we can calculate the resistance of here, and we can also calculate the. So if we have the resistance, then take note that this is parallel. So therefore, we have whatever voltage here is same as that. Okay. So if we have this voltage, the same voltage also occurs in the armature. So if you have voltage, then you can calculate the resistance, or you may calculate the current that flows on it. So you meaning you can provide current here. You can calculate the current that passes through that, provided we have the resistance of the loop. Okay. Now the usual questions in the problem for DC motor is calculate the angular acceleration. So angular acceleration is a omega in symbol. The unit is radian per second. To calculate this of this, we need the torque. So the torque is we provided the formula divided by the moment of inertia. So the moment of inertia of the uh, closed loop, no? So the rotating uh, area. So remember of the area, it will rotate. So you have to find the moment of inertia of that. So an m is the mass. Okay, mass of the wire about the center of gravity. So moment of inertia, that's what this is Im, but M means the mass of the wire. Okay. So the moment of inertia can be calculated using mass and its center of pivot. Okay. So what are the one? What will you do if you're asked to calculate the angular acceleration? First is you need the torque, and torque is what? Mu cross B. Now, what is I? This is the problem, no? How to calculate moment of inertia? The unit is kilogram meter square. So we need the mass, and we have this meter square. This is area. Take note. Okay. So mass kilogram meter square is the moment of inertia. So how to calculate moment of inertia? Look at this one. The angular acceleration can be calculated this formula. So again, we have this angular acceleration radian per second. Moment of inertia is kilogram meter squared. Mass of the wire. Okay. Now, suppose we have this segment of the conductor part, let us say in a rectangle. This is the part of the system where more rotates here with respect to the pivot. So this is now the uh, rotating axis in the motor. So in order to calculate the moment of inertia of this one, it should be the mass of this segment multiplied by this L. So this should be M times L square. Okay, you have to square that, then we have this. So meaning this is kilogram meter square. This is if the segment is this. Now take note that if this is a rectangle, then we have segment like this, which is now the alignment is perpendicular. This is parallel to the axis of rotation. This is perpendicular. So the question is how to calculate the moment of inertia at the center of that segment. Then the formula is 1 over 12 ml square. So this can be used for perpendicular and this can be used for the parallel. Okay, so we have this one. So that's it. Now, if your loop is circular, which is most common is circular, okay, Most common is circular. The moment of inertia is 1/2 of m, then square your r. That's it. Then whatever result here, Im should be the denominator of the torque in order to provide angular acceleration. Okay? So if you're given the exam, then of course you have to use this formula and take note of calculating the moment of inertia. So again, if the area is rectangle, then of course you have to divide it, diba, into two segments or four segments. So we have this one and we have the opposite. So whatever result here, just multiply it by 2. So because we have this segment and opposite this. And this one also vertical segment, we have another vertical segment here. So whatever result there, then you have to multiply it by 2. Then sum up all, okay? You have to sum up the moment of inertia, this one and this one, combine it, then this is it. Now, if the loop is circle, very easy. Just 1/2 mr squared. That's it. Because this is intended for circular loop. This is for portion of the conductor. Okay? That's it. So, for your practice, of course, you have to do solving problem. So, this problem is we have a 5 by 8 rectangular loop. So 5 by 8, this is 5 by 8. The current flows is 6.2 according to the problem. What is the question? The question is, uh, what torque acts on the loop? What torque? Meaning you have to calculate the torque. Okay. So take note that this system will rotate about this axis. No, if you follow the right hand rule, then we have the force here, force. Yeah. Then the rotation should be at that point. Okay. So if you don't know the axis, nothing to worry. All you need to do is to find the forces in each element. Diba? Using the straight current conductor, you can use the right hand rule to provide the current in each point. So this is now what current acts on that. Okay. Uh, okay. So therefore, we have this. What torque? What torque? Okay. So in this case, look at this one. Since the current is, look at this one, tend to rotate in a clockwise in the screen. So mu should be towards the surface. Okay? Then that's it. So that's mu. Meaning mu now is 90 degrees with the magnetic field. So very important. Okay? Then ang force, take note of this, is if you use the right hand rule of this segment, the force is inward. Okay? In the opposite segment, it's outward. Then therefore forces here is don't have the torque. So meaning uh, there's no contribution of rotation. So the rotation is due to these forces. So that's why the rotation now is we look at the top of this, it is clockwise direction. Why? Because of this force. And also you can use the direction of the loop due because of the mu, which is inward towards the magnetic field. So therefore, when you look at the top, then it should be clockwise direction. So if you're asked what is direction of the rotation, then use the direction of mu and the magnetic field. Then that's it. You can answer. Or you may use the force. Huh? But I think the easiest way is to identify direction of mu. Then mu will remember interact to magnetic field. So meaning it will not rotate in the counterclock. Looking at the top, it should be clockwise. Okay, so torque, letter A is mu B. Then we can now easily calculate. So use the magnitude. So mu B, so this is the magnitude of torque. Then supply, okay. IA, mu is IAB. So therefore, supply everything. I is 6.2. A is, remember, A is area. So it should be length times width. So 0.5, 0.05, 0.08. So this is now the area times magnetic field. And sine of 90 is 1. So therefore, the answer is 4.71 times 10 raised to negative 3 Newton meter, the unit of torque. And this is clockwise direction looking at the top of the axis. Okay. Then letter B, what is the magnetic dipole moment? Actually, we already answered here. No? I times A. So I times A. So it should be 6 times the area. And the answer is 0.0248 meter square. Then, letter B, you are asked to solve for the energy. Take note, cross product. Okay? So since we have already mu, remember that product is cosine. So you have the cosine. So the angle is 90. What is cosine 90? Cosine 90 is 0. So therefore, uh, the answer is cosine, oh, sorry, because we are asked to calculate the maximum, di ba? What is the energy generated by the loop? Generated by the loop. Okay? Maximum energy. So the maximum energy occurs when what? When when the angle between them is 0. So we use 0 because we are asked to find the maximum. And the minimum is 0. The minimum energy is 0. So the maximum is 4.71. So that's why we have this torque the same as this one. Why? Because this is the energy and we have this torque. So therefore, why is it that we have the torque? Because of its energy. So energy is conserved. Now, this will become 0 at the angle of 90. So when the mu is 90 degrees, okay, when the mu is 90 degrees, then uh, the energy is 0. Okay, but at that point, mu is our energy is 4.71 times 10 to the 3. Okay, so this is now the maximum, and the minimum is 0. Sorry. Letter D. What is the maximum torque? So the maximum torque, of course, at 90 degrees. Of course, 90 degrees. No? Maximum torque, if okay. Now, you are asked to find the maximum torque that can be obtained with the same total length of the wire. So, the total length of the wire is we have the 5 here, 8, another 5, another 8. So, this is 10 plus 16. So, 26 centimeter 26 centimeter total length of this wire. And according to the problem, what is the maximum torque that can be obtained with the same total length of wire carrying the same current? So meaning the same current 6.2, the same length of wire, then what is the maximum torque? So meaning to say that we will change the from rectangle, change that to surface that can provide greatest sana siya? Greatest uh, torque. Okay? So what do you think? What will be the surface? Is it a square? Is it triangle? Or is it a circle? Okay? Now in geometry, circle provides the greatest area. So remember area, we are looking for the greatest area. So if you do it in a square circle, then it is the greatest among others. Okay? So considering the same length, okay, the same length, then use the circle. That's why mostly of the coil are in a circular solenoid, such that the area is maximized and the magnetic dipole moment or the torque is maximum. So we use C as 2 pi r. Take note that C is already given, so you can solve for R because we need R. So C is, take note, 26 centimeters. Then R can be calculated. Okay. So in a rectangle, we have the perimeter, di ba? The perimeter is 2. So meaning this is now the C. Our C is the perimeter, which is 2 times 0.1. So therefore, simplify it. Then we have this 0.0414. This is now the radius of circle. So converted from square to circle. So the equivalent radius is 0.0414. Okay, then substitute in the formula, the torque, current times the area of circle times the magnetic field, then the answer is 6.34 times 10 to the negative 3. Compare this with previous. In a rectangle, with the same length of conductor, the torque is 4.71 times 10 to the negative 3, while this one is 6.34 times 10 raised to the negative 3. So therefore, if you are to choose what will be the surface area of the current loop, then use the circular. If you wish to have the greatest amount of torque means faster rotation, of course, in the circular compared to rectangular. Okay, so that's it. This is all about DC motor. So take note how DC motor works. Then you can answer that because of this video. So we have to provide magnetic field externally, and we have the current loop, okay, and we have the supply such that it provides the dipole moment. Then, of course, the brass and competitor is very much important because the brass and competitor will reverses the current. So reverses the current means reverses the direction of dipole moment. The dipole moment will interact towards the magnetic field. Okay, then cycle continues. So for your practice, solve these problems, of course, at home in your free time. Then, of course, this one we have also this problem. Then this is coming from the book of Young and Friedman. So just solve this problem. Okay, that's it. So that's all for today. Thank you for listening.